I want to bring in Andrew Kovac. Andrew was Charlie's co-host and wingman for many, many years, is now one of the co-hosts of the Charlie Kirk Show going forward. We toss to every day for, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 years. Toss to him every day. Also one of the guys with Charlie and Tyler and the rest of the team over there that thought through exactly where Turning Point was going to focus, not just the operations of ballot chasing and having these amazing, debates on college campuses and the outreach and the Turning Point faith and everything they've got going on, but actually thinking through exactly what are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? How are we serving the next generation, the young people in America? And I think that's why people are so have responded so heavily, have billions of hits on all their social media. So Andrew, by the way, thanks for doing this. People should know getting ready for a 2-hour show, coming on another show right beforehand is always a struggle. There's been this tweet up, and Benny had it on yesterday with Chip Roy. We put it up yesterday. I talked to you about it. Walk us through. You got Mark Mitchell that's breathing fire right now. You got Brat, who's everybody's favorite uncle, who's telling you what the practicality is. Walk me through those two. How do you see it? Where do you see the direction of this in this action plan that you and Charlie came up with? Walk people through, because it's starting to galvanize a lot of attention right now. If we got to get some stuff, a punch list. Let's look at Charlie's punch list. So take it from there, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me, Steve, and for the kind words. And you've just been a tremendous ally in the fight all along the way. And Charlie always tuned into your show. He was like straight into his veins, and so you're a big part of this too, Steve. Well, and listen, you're right. We were laser focused on making sure that the gains that we had, the coalitions that we were building in 2024, did not go by the wayside in 2025. We understood that the youth vote was not a permanent, ushering in of a permanent new electorate. We had to keep earning that vote. And when we saw some of the foreign policy decisions, when we saw some of the Epstein stuff come out, we knew we were losing some of that trust that we had built. I mean, they put a flyer on Trump. It was a flyer vote. We're going to give you a chance because the other thing's not working. We see that. But we understood it was always going to be Mangionism, Mamdaniism versus MAGA, versus economic national populism, driving forward with a rising tide lifts all boats as opposed to the zero-sum game grievance politics that are offered by the left. And so we're laser focused on how do we do this? How do we re-inspire the youth to get a stake and get some skin in the game into the American dream, believe in this republic? And so, yeah, this was a punch list. It was started with mass deportations. We understood that we're seeing our country get invaded. We understood that this is causing housing crisis. This is causing, backup at emergency rooms. It's a visible, visceral thing that young people can see in their communities. They understand that the country they inherited all of a sudden is not for them anymore. That's the message that it's sending, is that we don't care that you were born here. This country's for foreigners. Mass deportation also has crime implications, obviously. Step number 2, stop the H-1B scam. I love what Mark Mitchell said. This is something young people experience when they go into the workforce. And about 80% of these jobs in H-1B are going to entry-level, junior-level type jobs, the exact jobs that we need to be able to ensure are reserved for American citizens. America is for Americans. And then when you do this H-1B scam and you got 80% or 70% that's going to go to Indians, another 10 to 15% to Chinese, this is you're looking visibly at your country saying it's no longer for me. And that is depressing on a existential level for young people, Steve. You got step number 3, dramatically reduce legal immigration. We've got robotics, we've got AI that's coming, automation that's going to be wiping out a ton of these entry-level jobs, analyst jobs, the first rung on the economic ladder for so many college grads. And you've got 1.2 million green cards being passed around like they're candy based on a 1990 law that we don't need anymore. This is antiquated. We do not need it. You might have said in 1990 there was a justification for it. I would argue with that. But right now, there's absolutely no justification that we need 1.2 million green cards every year. Step 4, end chain migration in the visa lottery. What good does this do our country? There's absolutely no good that it does our country. These are not people that are brought here for merit. They're not geniuses. There's no actual rationale for these people. End it immediately. Number 5, build 10 million new homes. for Americans. This is key. And Mark Mitchell's talking about, we need visible evidence that we are putting young people first. We need visible evidence. We need big, hairy, bold, audacious ideas that we can go put President Trump, J.D. Vance in front of a camera, breaking ground behind them, seeing huge new homes that we're going to, guess what? We're going to make sure institutional buyers don't come in and swoop up those homes. We're going to make sure that foreign-born immigrants, illegals, or foreign investors don't get first dibs at those homes. These are going to be for first-time home buyers. Let's make sure that they have priorities, Steve, in these 10 million new homes. Let's break ground. Let's do something big and bold. And, you know, whether it's writing off the first $50,000 of the mortgage every year till they're 35, whether it's, you know, letting write off their whole mortgage. I don't know. Let's talk about big ideas. Let's make sure that we get young people into the housing market, because that's the first thing. And then number 6, crush the college cartel. Steve, this is huge. So many of our college grads, they don't learn the skills they need. They've been indoctrinated. And then when they get out there in $250,000 worth of debt, and what does that debt do? It pushes off family formation. It pushes off getting a mortgage. It pushes off those conservatizing life events. We call them the 3 M's on the Charlie Kirk Show. That is marriage, mating, and mortgage. Marriage, mating, and mortgage. Even the Brookings Institute acknowledges that when young people do those 3 M's, they become conservatives. They start voting the way we want them to. And so this is an existential crisis with our young people. They don't believe in the system. They don't believe in the republic, and they need leaders that do bold things and put them first. Friends, the Charlie Kirk Show team here. America's debt bomb has blown past $37 trillion. And it's climbing every second. President Trump is fighting for fair trade and strong borders to slow the train wreck, but the numbers don't lie. When debt grows this fast, it can threaten your savings and your family's future. That's why more Americans are turning to real assets like gold and silver. I work with and recommend Preserve Gold. They make it simple to own physical gold and silver, even inside your retirement accounts like an IRA or 401k. Text USA to 50505 for their free wealth protection guide. With a qualified purchase, you could get up to $20,000 in free gold or silver.
Because first off, Turning Point has a massive operation now. I think you've got chapters in virtually every high school and college in the country. Plus, you have a huge plant there in Phoenix with young people. You're on the road all the time. You have the show. You've got social media. What is the feedback you're getting from young people when you talk about these specific action items that can be taken if we have the political will to do it?
No, they love these action items, Steve, but then they go, well, why are we so focused on foreign affairs? Why are we focused on abstractions? We need to focus on domestic issues. Now, listen, I agree with Dave Bratt, what he said in the last hour. President Trump is the one guy that can thread the needle. I think there are justifications for making sure that we have peace abroad so that we can be thriving domestically. I think it's simply a messaging thing, and there's no better messenger than President Trump. He can do it. J.D. Vance, I've been hearing him message on this. He can do it. Stephen Miller, he's an amazing messenger. You've got Scott Besson, another amazing messenger. I think that the administration is pivoting right now. You're going to see this. I think you're going to see it over the coming weeks and days and months. But you're right. The question is, do we have the political will? And until we have the political will, these young people are going to call BS on this. They're just simply going to say, I don't see it. I haven't seen it happen. And so we just need action. Once we have action, then guess what? The political junkies, the influencers, shows like this, we're going to have actual evidence to point to and say, listen, you said you wanted X, you got Y. You said you wanted A, you got B, C, and D. Listen, all we need is the goods to go out there and look our people straight in the eye and say, you asked, you received, we delivered, and you got to give it a little time to come through. But the alternative is that they're just going to throw up their hands, give in to nihilism, give in to depression, and bail on the American dream. We can't have that, Steve.
You guys came up with the ballot chasing operation and kind of started to perfect it. And this is after learning, taking some lumps and learning, because you guys are a learning organization. A lot of people are now saying, hey, and we've been at the leader of the kind of the forefront of this redistricting fight or this redistricting war. And they're saying, hey, if we can't win that, there's no hope for the midterms. What are your thoughts? If we can galvanize and get at least a couple of these big ones done, have you written off the midterms as, poor pitiful me, we're just going to lose it? Or do we have a fight here?
No, Steve, you and I have talked about this recently, actually, the importance of this redistricting fight, and I appreciate you leading the charge on that. You've got California v. Texas at this point, and my concern is that those would basically equal each other out. They'd be out equal in the wash there. But, my concern there is that the Texas maps rely heavily upon the Hispanic vote, and you mentioned galvanized. Well, if we don't deliver, if the economy doesn't deliver, if we don't see some of these policies actually materialize and we don't message effectively on it, then we could lose the Hispanic vote and we could go backwards on that to, 2016, 2020 levels, in which case some of those House seats in Texas are up for grabs again, and we have to be very cognizant of that. So we need states like Indiana. We need states like Nebraska and Kansas and Florida. We need Ohio. We need all of those states to get on board and see the urgency. We have not written that off. And the ballot chasing is going to be key, Steve. But, I think back to 2024, where Democrats still put more investment into canvassing than Republicans. But why did it not work? Because they had a terrible message and a terrible candidate. You can only do so much through canvassing and ballot chasing, as we call it. It's critically important, especially since we sort of, with this realignment under Trump, now we have the low propensity party, and we need to chase those ballots. That's key. But if we are not galvanizing the electorate, they're gonna close the door in our face. They're not gonna listen. They're gonna throw whatever door hangers you put on their door or pamphlets or literature. They're gonna throw it in the trash, just like they were doing with Kamala. So it's not an either or. It's a both and. It's a 1+2. In politics, there is no silver bullet. You just have to do the work, and then you have to deliver the goods.
Talk to me about, before we let you go, AmFest. I know you're sold out. Just tell us about AmFest. AmFest is going to be really the launch pad for 2026. That and what else you guys are doing at Turning Point right now.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Steve. Yeah, when we lost Charlie, the whole world was, speaking galvanized. They were galvanized, and they one of the things that we saw is AmFest just exploded. And I think last year was our biggest year ever when we had President Trump. We had 21,000 people at the Phoenix Convention Center that day, and this is going to be even bigger than that, Steve. And yeah, we had to sort of turn off ticketing for fire marshal issues and just venue capacity issues. And it's just going to be an absolute testament and celebration of Charlie's life and his legacy, of what he taught us. We're going to try and remember the lessons that he taught us. And we're going to be, as you said, action, action, action. There's some of these debates that we're having on the right. These are going to be front and center. We're going to have them out right on the main stage. We're going to have breakouts galore, Steve. So many breakouts. You're going to be there. We got a big announcement of somebody else who's going to be there coming in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be the heart and the center of the conservative universe for the 3-4 days that we're doing it right there in Phoenix at the Convention Center, and we're honored that you're going to be a part of it, Steve.
Yeah, and of course, Real America's Voice in the War Room will broadcast. We'll have our booth down there. Always the #1 booth, big gathering place for folks. Andrew, thank you so much. Your social media, where they go to get the Charlie Kirk Show. We know you follow us here on RAV. What's your social media, where they go for the show?
Yeah, follow me on X, Twitter, at Andrew Colvett, just my name. And you can check out the Charlie Kirk Show everywhere you have podcasts. Rumble, please check it out there. We pin it on X as well. You can get it all the places. We're honored to have you guys. We love the War Room.
And we love you guys, too. Love tossing to you every day. Andrew Colvett, thank you so much.
You.
The punch list. We got the punch list now. Thank you, sir.